Educational Communications and this station present Environmental Directions with Nancy Pearlman. On this series, we explore the effects of human influence on the Earth's ecosystems and discuss solutions to environmental problems which affect the quality of life on this planet. Environmental Directions gives you the kind of information you need to help you participate in decisions impacting your community, the nation, and the world. Now, here's your host, Nancy Pearlman.
Hello. We are going to be talking about climate and educational materials that will help us learn more about what we can do and what the problems are. With my guest, Thomas Yount. He is the founder and CEO of Clean Earth Future, which is a game studio. He's also a composer and sound designer, and he is creator of the board game called Climate Cooldown. Welcome. It's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you so much for having me here, Nancy. I really appreciate it. I'm excited. This is fun.
I've been having fun looking at all the cards that you have for this board game that teaches people in a fun, entertaining way what the problems are, the disasters that we're facing in climate change, what we can do in terms of energy and power, and you have a whole set of cards about the solutions. What are you trying to get people, both adults and children, to learn from playing this game?
That's a great question. So there's quite a few things that I'd love for people to learn while playing the game. They might not even realize it when they start playing it, but there's a lot of different elements to the game that you mentioned. You have disasters that are going to impact regions around the globe. Every round of the game, there's going to be solutions to some of those disasters and other solutions we need to take care of things that we've already messed up on the planet. We've polluted the waters. We've treated our soil very poorly. There's different things we can do, though, to fix them. So learning about these solutions, I think, is one really important thing. Another is a just transition from fossil fuels to sustainable energy. So solar, wind, geothermal, the like. So these cards in the game are going to give you a chance to not only get exposed to these critical issues we have and solutions to them, but also how impactful are they? What kind of problems are some of them causing? Even some of our solutions might have an impact. So there are a lot of great things to learn in this game, but I also didn't want to stop there. I really wanted to also include a social element to the game, right? I wanted to include diplomacy. I wanted to include the need for us to provide mutual aid or international aid with one another in order to solve the crisis that we're in. And I think that's a really important aspect to the real world that I was attempting to model in this game.
You have some beautiful, colorful cards, some graphics. You talk about energy, everything from wind, biomass, wave, tidal, and of course the bad ones, coal, natural gas, petroleum, so forth. As you say, you also talk about some of the problems that are being caused in the environment that are affecting climate change, everything from drought to bottom trawling, which is a bad form of fishing, to pollution, air, water dumping. We're dumping things all over the place, and flooding, natural disasters, as well as human disasters like deforestation. And of course, then you want to encourage people to take action, whether or not they're writing to legislators to end fishing subsidies or to stop deforestation, or we obviously all need to recycle and have a plant-rich diet and do our part in terms of saving the environment, wildlife, get those subsidies to the ecosystems. The list is extensive here. How many cards are there here?
Originally, there was even more cards. It was hard. I had to pick and choose. When you start the process, you get excited. There's eventually 72 that I ended up with. I really wanted to add even more. There was so many that I had to take out for now because, you know what, I can add them in later. And that's the thing. There could be an expansion, but I had to start with the ones that I thought were the most important to get good coverage over things we can change in our cities, transit, things like that, green building, versus addressing issues we have with the land and issues we have with the ocean and the sky, the air.
I see another game coming, especially one that's covering my favorite topic, wildlife, because we still have 5 to 10 species a day becoming extinct. The ecosystems are disappearing. We are destroying the homes of the creatures on the planet, both plant and animal, that we need.
That's right. There is some coverage in this game. We have habitat rejuvenation. We have pro-forestation, which is protecting the existing forests that we have. We have seaforestation, which is helping restore the habitats in the water, like kelp forests, places where we need for fish to have homes and to also sequester carbon. It's funny, we don't necessarily think of the forests and the ocean as sequestering, bringing in carbon dioxide, but they do. It's amazing. So we really need to take care of all of these habitats for not just human life. We constantly think, but you're bringing up a great point. We need to think about the animals too. And we're losing them at a rapid pace if we don't stop what we're doing and change our actions.
We don't have time to play the full game on the radio. How long does it take people to play it?
So if you're just playing the game to play the game, you can do it in 45 minutes once you know how to play. But if you're engaging in good conversation, it's a social game. We might role play. Maybe I'll role play as the North America, like US, Canada. You might role play as like Europe or say South America or Asia or something like that. And if you do, this can lead to really fun conversations, and it could take longer to play the game, maybe say an hour and a half.
How does one play it? Is it more like Monopoly or Candyland?
That's a great question. The game itself is cooperative. So in fact, it's about how we use our resources together. So let's say, for example, you're North America and I'm South America. It's about how we use our energy, water, and food to make a better impact on the planet. And so it's resource management for sure. It's also very much a social game where we have to look out for each other. Let's say I'm South America and I have a disaster, right? A terrible disaster, a drought. I might only have one food left, one food resource card left. And I'm like, hey, over here, can I have a little help? I might ask you and beg you, please, North America, could you give me some diplomacy? I need some help here. I need some resources. So there's a lot of different ways that the game can expand and contract through interactions with players.
I know that schools are using it, but this might also be fun for an adult party night?
Absolutely. There's 2 meters in the game. Global meter, which is like the temperature of the planet, and the impact meter, which is what we're doing to the planet. It's our emissions. It's the pollution that we're creating. And the main thing is it's designed for classrooms.
And it's designed for people to be together, to work together, which is what we need to do on the planet. Because nowadays, so many young people are playing alone on a video game. Why did you choose the old-fashioned board game versus the new computer games?
It's funny. I actually was thinking about designing a video game in the beginning, in the inception of this game, and when I was prototyping it. However, once I started playing with it as a tabletop analog board game, I could hold in my hand. The cards you could hold, you could pass around. There's something I realized. This was also during the COVID pandemic. And so during that time, I think we were kind of missing that social interaction. And I think it really came down to feeling we need something more social right now. For this to work, we could make it into a video game, but I think it needs to start as a social practice.
Why did you choose the name Climate Cooldown?
It's hard to choose a name for something. So many names are already taken. And the reason why I went with this one, my sister actually helped come up with the name. I wanted it to focus on climate because that is the topic of the game. And then the term cooldown, I wanted to represent us cooling down our impact on the planet. So that's not actually turning down the temperature of the whole globe, but it's what the game is suggesting is that we have a really high impact on the planet. It's heating it up. So we need to cool down our impact, and that's how you win.
You're a composer. I'm sitting here looking at many different pianos, electronic players. You are a sound designer. Have you ever thought of including some sort of CD or musical entertainment that can be played when we're playing the game?
Well, that's a wonderful idea. I love that. What I've done so far is create a jingle, if you will, like a 15-second song for all the cards. So all 72 cards already has a short song, and I have those playable on my social media. However, I like your idea here of actually releasing more of a soundtrack, something to play while you're playing the game. Press play, and then here we go. We're going to start playing the game. That's a fun idea.
For your social media, if people want to hear this, what's your website?
So my website is climatecooldown.com, spelled ClimateCooldown.com. So when you arrive on the website, there's a chance to purchase the game, and then I also have instructions for the game, a tutorial video, and lots of teaching materials as well.
It's important to have that extra curriculum lesson plan for teachers to make it easier to use. You want climate literacy. What does that really mean? I think most people, hopefully, know that we human beings have changed the climate drastically so that it's getting worse faster than it normally would.
That's right. There's a lot of different aspects to climate literacy that are important. The biggest initial goal is getting an understanding of the dynamics of Earth and human systems. If we just see us driving vehicles that are fossil fuel powered, flying jumbo jets and doing all these things as being just totally okay, there's no problem with that. We might be missing a connection here between our human system and the things that we're contributing, the impact we have on the planet, and in turn, how that impacts the global system, the Earth system. Over time, the impact has been really detrimental, and we can also track it in such ways that there's no doubt that it's the case. So in this game, I model that. So when you're playing the game, very quickly, you will see that global average temperature go up.
When you were researching to find out what you wanted to include, because you can't include all the disasters, you can't include all the solutions, you can't include all of the problems, what unexpected discovery did you find?
Wow. One thing for me was I didn't realize how serious the ocean was in danger. I also didn't realize how much of the world relies upon the ocean for a source of food. Because of that, whether it's the kelp or the fish in the sea, the other living beings there, I really didn't understand how severe it was. So I had to figure out a way to model that in the game. And one thing I did is, if we neglect the solutions required to help protect the oceans and repair and heal them, every region of the globe will get less food in the game. And I think that sort of impact, when it happens with players that I've seen, it clicks. They know pretty quickly, they're like, oh, okay, I guess it is serious. It is a pretty big issue. If we all will have less food as a globe. So I think there's different ways I've tried to kind of take those moments of shock. Oh my God, I didn't know how serious this was. Make sure that I bring that into the game, and so that other people also have a chance to arrive to a similar realization.
The box cover has the Earth and also some circles that look like some weather conditions.
That's right. So I wanted to represent a few things in the box art. One was I wanted to show a hurricane representing the crisis, but also representing people coming together in a cooperative manner. I've actually had some people not even recognize it as a hurricane, that they actually thought of it more just as a symbol. And it is kind of a symbol. It's us coming together to make a change. You look at the top, you'll see that there's stars on one side, and then it kind of gets dark on the other side. And what I wanted to represent there was this sense of a loss of light pollution and air pollution, disrupting our ability to see the stars at night, and like the clearness of the skies on the other side, which would be kind of a goal for our air shed, protecting the air and air quality.
What kind of reaction have you had from people who are now playing your Climate Cooldown board game?
Just recently, I was able to work with the Los Angeles Unified School District, and we were able to bring multiple copies of the game to over 100 schools, which is really exciting. This last school year, I was able to go in class to some high schools, middle schools, and elementary schools to be able to work with teachers and be able to see what it's like to have Climate Cooldown in the classroom. And just recently, for the first time, I was able to complete a survey before and after the game. And that really, really just warmed my heart to see, not only in the classroom the kids lighting up, but seeing a survey really show that before, the highest emotion that they related to the climate crisis was anxiety and sadness, some anger, confusion. And then after playing the game, after the curriculum, whether it was a 2-day or a 5-day, they actually had hope as the highest percentage of students who feel the emotion. It was hope. It was no longer anxiety. And that to me really stood out. The fact that they felt more hope, the fact that the things they learned, half the students had no idea what diplomacy was. After playing the game, everyone knew what diplomacy was, at least 50% confident, where in the beginning you had half the class not confident whatsoever. So all these things, seeing that in action, seeing the effectiveness of the game in the classroom, and also kids having a little bit of fun, socializing too. It really leads me to believe that this game and the curriculum, very importantly, has a long way to go, finding its way into other classrooms around the U.S. and hopefully the whole world.
Congratulations on your success.
Thank you so much, Nancy.
I want to thank you so very much for creating this unique board game called Climate Cooldown. Thank you for being my guest.
Thank you so much, Nancy. It's been a pleasure.
I have been speaking to Thomas Yount, who is the CEO and founder of Clean Earth Future. I'm Nancy Pearlman. Thank you very much for joining us, and do tune in again next week.
If you would like free information about these environmental issues, go to www.ecoprojects.org or call 310-559-9160. Environmental Directions with your host, Nancy Pearlman, is a community affairs program of the nonprofit organization Educational Communications and this station.